Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shazana binti Saharudin. Inshallah today our group will present our topic, which is responsibility. First of all, I would like to thank Madam Zurin for guiding us in completing this assignment from the beginning until the end. In the first place, I will proceed this presentation by explaining the definition for the terms responsibility. There's a lot of definitions when we searching for the term responsibility, and today I will explain a few definitions that related to the term responsibility. The first definition of responsibility can be defined as the entity involved is able to respond or answer for its act, notably those causing damage to others, be it an individual as a third party, a community, or even the environment. From this definition, it clearly explains that an individual are considered responsible when they have done something especially that potentially can cause harm to another individual or community. Then they can answer for their action willingly without blaming others for their act. Moreover, responsibility also means being willing and able, as well as potentially guilty and punishable if it is found guilty. And for the last definition of responsibility, according to Samuel and Nicholas, 2013, responsibility can be referred as the obligations one has with respect to past and future actions. From these three definitions, it can be concluded that responsibility means an individual's obligations one has with regards to what they have done in their past action and what they will do in future, and from that action they are able to answer for their act, and if they were found guilty for their actions, they willingly to be punishable without blaming others people. When discussed about responsibility among the public administrator, they must maintain their professionalism and neutrality and serve the government of the day. As the public administrator, they must be responsible and responsive to each of the government policies and implement it according to the ministerial order. For responsibility, it is important for all the ministry and public servants to possess high accountability and responsibility in performing duties, without abusing power or position for self-gain or the benefits of other interested parties. In short, by practicing the principles of responsibilities, the public administrator will be more guided on what they can do or cannot do in performing their duty to give a best service to the public and increase transparency that helps the public to build trust towards the public servant itself and the governments. That's all from my part. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syamil Azim alias. Today I'm going to present about the issue on responsibility amongst the public servant. So, responsibility among the public administrator has been the fundamental of to the development in the field of public administration as the profession. For the first issue, why there is no responsibility amongst the public servant is because of lack of integrity in their duties. The integrity issue has become one of the major problems in the public service organization. Ethics and integrity are closely related. Because the integrity are based on ethical edition in every action of public administration. The lack of ethic and honesty in it will lead to the issue of responsibility, which is lack of integrity. So for the first factor, for the lack of integrity among the public servant in public administration is there is no honesty at the workplace. The worker that do not have honesty in their work tend to do mistake like committing corruption. This is because they are being offered for something that they do not have, or because of the current economic state that have been forced them to done responsible things like corruption. The impact of the dishonest in duty, especially in the public servant, not only bring the bad reputation to them, but also impacted the whole public administration. The other factor on why public servant is lack of integrity is because of lack of confidentiality and loyalty among them. In today increasingly litigious and highly competitive workplace, confidentiality is important for the host of reason. The lack of confidentiality and loyalty among the public servant only lead to the breach of trust regarding their duties. The example of breach of duty in work can be taken for the case involving the case from former Malaysian External Intelligence Organisation MEIO, Datuk Hasanah Abdul Hamid. Datuk Hasanah is charged with criminal breach of trust involving the government fund totaling at RM 50.4 million. Regarding the above case has shown that loyalty and confidentiality for to their duties is important in order to avoid those crimes, and those attitude has been a key to build up the excellent public service. Sorry, the excellent public servant services. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Anis Alisha binti Cik Min. So another issue that we choose for responsibility is lack of discipline. What is discipline? Discipline is basically a condition or regulation imposed by the management in order to public servant to follow to prevent any behavior that can bring harmful to organization, bad image to organization, and so on and so forth. So discipline is very crucial because it is to ensure that the public servant is performing in a manner that organization consider it as acceptable, because we know that public servant is dealing with people's money, so they have to gain trust from many people. So here I insert a few factors that contribute to lack of discipline. First is lack of discipline comes from bad attitude. For example, as we know, people who work in government, which is public servant, they whether they give bad or good services to the people, but they still being paid by the government. In contrast, for those people who work in private sector, they have they struggle in performing their work because they're being evaluated by their employer. If they have if they get complaints from the customer or dissatisfaction, so the possibilities for them to get fired is very hard. Another factor is improper promotional policy. This is about promotion. Give promotion to the people, to the public servant. For example, if the high management give promotion to the wrong person instead of giving promotion to very good, disciplined and dedicated workers, so this can bring dissatisfaction among the public servant. When dissatisfaction occur, so this will generate so they begin to carry out their work in a manner that can affect their quality of work in serving people. So improper promotional policy is not only give negative impact to the public servant, but also on the reputation and productivity of the department or organization, and so on and so forth. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Putri Srabinto Anasani. I'll explain about the implications of the issues. First, it is essential for civil servants to be responsible in delivering their services to the public. However, it is regrettable that some of them lack responsibility due to several issues, including lack of integrity and discipline. These issues have brought upon various negative implications to the public and the government as a whole. Since they are obliged to carry out their duty, irresponsible civil servants will do it without sincerity and commitment. This will lead to declined quality of work performance because they no longer strive to provide the best services to the public. In 2019, the World Bank reported that Malaysia's civil service performance has been declining since 2014. Declining quality of work will indirectly influence the public perceptions toward the government negatively. They will slowly lose their trust in the government. The public trust is undeniably very crucial to the government because it assists the leaders to make important decisions, to attain societal goals, and most importantly, to secure public compliance. If the public were to disobey the government and refuse to comply with rules and regulations, the legitimacy of the government will be questioned, and therefore, the peace and stability in our country will be threatened. In conclusion, being irresponsible will not only affect the public but also the government in general. Therefore, civil servants should be responsible and work diligently. Next, Nur Ain will explain on the recommendations before ending our presentation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Ain binti Masirun. I would like to explain on the topic of recommendation regarding the issue in responsibility that had been presented by my teammate just now, which is lack of integrity and lack of discipline. We already know that these two issues are usually happen in public servant. These arising issues need to be solved in order to have a good ethics in workplace. I will explain the recommendation of lack of integrity first. Lack of integrity can be fixed by the role of leadership in the organization. Leadership's role is very important to be played because they are the one who need to recognize their employees' performance and also the weaknesses in doing job. They also need to make sure that the employee being committed with the responsibility that has been given to them. If the employee failed to do so, the leader has the right to take an action just to make sure there is no problems occur in running the organization. Next, recommendation for the issue of lack integrity by provide education to create awareness of the importance of integrity. These steps is a common way to create awareness about integrity among employees. Organization might provide suitable programs which consist wide knowledge about integrity that will give new awareness to them. Workshop Facilitator is one of the example programs that can be held by the organization. Organization could hire any expert one to run the program so that the objective of the program can be achieved. Next, I will explain the recommendation for issue of lack of discipline. Lack of discipline can be curbed by providing training and development programs to employees. The purpose of training and development programs is to expedite acquisition of the knowledge, skills and abilities required for effective job performance of employee and so can turn them becomes more responsible towards their work and will not neglect their responsibilities as an employee. The effectiveness of job performance will increase the job satisfaction.
and it will make the employee be more focused to their job rather than create discipline problems. Another way to curb the issue of lack of discipline is by involving the management development. Supervisors at all levels of the organization need to be involved in resolving performance problem among employee through few important steps such as motivation, communication, etc. By giving motivation to employee, it could help them less their burdens which cause the discipline problems at workplace. This recommendation is likely the most effective way that can be used by management development because it could make the management being more aware about their employee. That's all from me. Thank you.